Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the Why of It All. I have a hair stuck on me somewhere and it's driving me crazy.
I got it.
I don't know where it is. We have no plan.
We have no plan. Welcome back, guys. This is episode 13. Lucky number 13.
Lucky number 13.
And we have always said that we keep when we prep for these shows, guys, we're no experts. We don't know what the hell we're doing. We just want to bring you guys good content. And so we've been having these growing pains in our podcast, right?
Yeah.
And we have to give credit to Melanie's husband because he's actually brilliant.
He's literally an actual manager, but he is sort of he's sort of becoming our manager. He's kind of really good.
He's kind of our manager.
He's kind of our manager.
He's the one that calls us out when, like, girls, did you do your homework? Did you do your show prep? Are you ready? Do you need what's going on? Like, he's our manager.
So Ben came around the corner. Ooh, should I not dox my husband?
What?
Whatever.
What? No.
It's fine.
No.
So he comes around the corner having been upstairs working, doing his own job while Gina and I were downstairs recording another episode. And he had some constructive feedback for us.
He did. It was so good, though, for us to hear it.
It was so good. It was really good. And I love that you and I are both open to that constructive feedback. But, you know, we realized, Gina and I have been talking recently about we really want the show flow to just be organic. Like, when you had the stroke of genius for us to even start this show, it was all about these incredible conversations that you and I just have when there's no recording happening.
When really, we should have been recording this shit 20 years ago because we always have these groundbreaking conversations. And when Melanie and I have these talks about our show and about our passion project and about how important it is for us to create good content for our listeners, we keep going back. Like, we start struggling, right? Like, we had a 3-hour meeting yesterday. We had a 3-hour phone prep show meeting, and it was a great meeting. It was awesome. But we always try to come back to why we started the show, do we not?
Yeah.
Doesn't it help us? It propels us forward. When we sometimes we get lost in the minutia of trying to create good content because we're newbies and we're amateurs.
And we care.
And we do care.
Like,
we do.
We really care
We do.
about providing value. And I'll speak for myself. I'll let Gina jump in. But speaking for myself, I will work myself up into a damn frenzy.
You? You?
Who?
No. Really?
I will work myself into an absolute frenzy trying to come up with the best possible content and the right ways to word things and like
research.
Over preparing and researching and like creating the outline. And I mean, it just...
And it's so impressive. I'm not going to lie. It is so impressive. It's your superpower. And it sometimes makes me feel like I'm not working enough. I'm like, God damn, should I have been up since till 1 a.m. like show prepping? Like, it makes me feel sometimes because of my personality that I'm more laid back about those certain things that I'm like, damn, am I not doing enough? Am I not like preparing enough? Like, shit, I better step up my game because Melanie's game is like, damn, like on point.
It is, but you know what? It's not good for the mental health.
No, it's
really not. So Gina and I have had a discussion.
A beautiful discussion.
And we have decided that the greatest thing about our friendship is the organic conversations that we have that we don't plan at all and we just let it flow. So today we're going to try something a little different.
Yeah.
We had an entire episode planned.
Yep.
And
that Melanie worked until 1 a.m.
I worked until 1 a.m. on.
So
and
I didn't want to discount that.
The whole time banging my head up against the wall because I knew how we had already talked about how we want these things to become more organic.
Yeah.
And here I am scripting it out. So good thing I'm cute.
Yes.
Oopsie
poopsie.
Oopsie poopsie. Maybe that's what we'll talk about today. Maybe we can talk about oopsie poopsie.
We can talk about oopsie.
Anyway,
we can touch on oopsie poopsie.
We could touch. Anyway, so here we are. We literally sat down here, 10 or 15 minutes ago with a plan to do a show. And then my husband brought in his managerial insight and some constructive feedback. And Gina and I looked at each other and decided, F it.
Yeah.
Let's just throw out the entire episode we had planned and wing it.
And let's be honest. the last time I was here, which was 3 weeks ago, we put out some good content, those 2 episodes when we were here, but we had this beautiful walk before we recorded, remember?
Yeah.
And we've said this before in another episode. You can go listen to episode, I think 10 or 11, but we talked about how we had this amazing, groundbreaking freaking conversation with no recording. And we got back to the house and we're sitting on your front porch, remember? And I'm like, God damn it, we should have had the audio recording on, because this whole conversation that we just had was so amazing. It was so organic. It was so like us just like, man, just like figuring out our problems and like working through it. And so we finally took our advice, sort of. We're winging this episode. We're just going to talk about shit that's going on in our lives right now and see what happens.
And it wasn't too long ago too, where you and I were having a conversation and we were acknowledging how, look, y'all, we're babies. This is episode, what, 13?
13.
We're babies at this. We're still figuring it out. And, I can speak for myself again. I'm going in with the greatest of intentions to like put my heart and soul into it and really make it the best that my logical, cognitive, thinking, mental mind thinks it could be.
Yes.
But
yeah,
maybe that doesn't produce the most organic,
you hit on
genuine, flowing conversation. Like it's genuine and authentic in the sense that it's me and Gina really truly speaking what's true for us.
Correct.
But
we're not being inauthentic about how we feel about these topics.
No, or our intention behind it or any of that. But like, it's not exactly true to you and I and our friendship and our style. So let's just see what happens. And if it's a total flop, we'll just not post this.
Yeah. If we sound like complete idiots, then we're just not going to post it. But why not?
Why not?
Let's just do it.
Let's just do it.
So tell me, what's going on this week with you?
Okay.
Like, what's going on?
I'm gonna let everybody know
exactly
what happened last night.
Yes. Go ahead. Go off, girl.
So after you and I had a whole conversation, we were doing our 3-hour show prep, and we had literally talked about how we wanted to be more organic, less scripted. Like we had written out a freaking script.
Yep.
And then we even went in and we're like, let's take out the scripting and just make it bullet points and questions.
Yep. That was your idea.
Right. Because I'm like, this needs to be more organic.
Yeah.
and then after we finished our show prep, this episode that we were gonna be doing today,
13.
that we were gonna be recording today, it was a topic about turning traumas into superpowers, turning, or I should say, our trauma responses. How can the ways that we adapt to our trauma, the coping mechanisms that we develop out of survival when we're, for example, in childhood or whatever, how through the healing process can we transform that into
a superpower,
our gifts, like our greatest talents and abilities and skills,
which is a great topic.
And I was really into the idea, but it was we were really I was banging my head against the wall trying to figure out how we can have this conversation in a way that flowed organically without it being just like an interview style. And you guys have probably noticed we've been sort of leaning on interview style in the past because we're new at this and we're still learning how. This is us right now in this very second, learning how to take that, how to evolve into natural flow of conversation instead of having it all pre-planned for us. But in the last 12 episodes, we've sort of been leaning on using questions as a way to segue and prompt. Thank you. Into the next discussion.
Correct.
And that's fine. And we're growing and learning the whole time. But anyway, I'm like, we need to be less scripted. And then I spent the next 5 straight hours scripting the episode.
And you know how I knew that you were up? I wasn't up at 1 a.m. I was asleep at a decent time, but on our phones we have shared notes. And so because we both have Apple phones, we have shared notes. And so whenever she makes an addition to a note, I'll get a pop-up alert that says, Melanie added it. And so
your phone dinging all night.
That shit kept going on. I'm like, what the fuck is she adding to this shit? No, but at the same time, I'm like, bless her heart, because she is so,
I care so much.
You care so much. And it doesn't mean that I care less. It just
No.
means that like our style of how we approach our podcast is different.
So true.
But you've also said, Gina, I'm so glad. There have been times where I have, whatever I have said has made you go, has made something flip in here and go, okay, thank you for giving me permission to like
chill the F out.
Chill the F out.
You know, if I was a lesbian, I would marry you.
I would marry you too. If I didn't like dick, I would totally marry you. I would totally marry you. But you can't help me in that.
It's really, it's one of the things that I love the most. No, sorry, I can't help you in that department.
Sorry.
I'm crying. Yeah. It's one of the things that I love the most about my husband. He is so steady.
God,
like,
he is.
Like,
damn.
I'm not like a walking basket case of emotion necessarily.
No.
I have my occasional things that trigger me. I'm mostly in a calm, joyful state, but
for sure.
But when I do have my high highs or my low lows, my husband is just like, he's a freaking rock, man.
Dude.
He is so steady and so balanced. Like, even when we have very little conflict in our house, but even when we do argue, he just is so steady and is arguing. It really pisses me off. I'm like,
get a little more, yell at me, man.
We're fighting right now. Bring it. Right?
Dude,
anyway.
He's husband goals for me. He is husband goals.
I nailed it. I nailed it.
You
with
did
this guy.
nail it, girl. You did good. Give me 5 on that.
Okay. So
good partner picking.
Anyway, 1:00 in the morning, banging my head up against a wall. Got at least to a point where I was like, okay, I don't love this, but I trust that Gina and I are going to get into it, and I don't have to read it off the freaking thing, and I trust that we're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
We're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
We're going to make this whatever it will be. And I went to sleep for like 2 hours because the anxiety of it, the tizzy that I'd gotten myself into, had my nervous system all revved up. And so I literally slept for like 2 hours and then just was awake for the rest of the night. My husband was up at 4 and I'm like, good morning.
Huh?
Where you been? I've been here the whole time. Anyway, so I will say, to my credit, I woke up this morning, did my morning routine, sat right down with a coffee.
Good girl.
And I did my journal entry, and I focused in my journal entry on this concept of contrast generating expansion. And I can't remember, did we talk about that in the last episode at all? Did I say the words?
No, but we talked about it in our show prep, but we did not talk about it.
So very briefly, the phrase, the quote, contrast generates expansion, is an Abraham Hicks quote. Abraham Hicks is a law of attraction leading person. And what contrast generates expansion just refers to is that it is our times of struggle, our difficult moments, the discomfort, anything that is an adversity that you're dealing with. That's when you grow. That's the stuff you grow from. You don't grow when you're just, everything is hunky-dory. When you're in your comfort zone, there's no growth that happens in your comfort zone. It's delightful.
Correct.
We love to be in our comfort zone, but you're not expanding and growing from that. We require, what do they say? What is the analogy of
lotus flower?
Yeah, tell me the lotus flower one.
Well, it's just like what it starts in the mud and it's all mucky and you can't see anything, and then it finally, the leaves and the petals start to come out from the mud and the muck, and it's hard. It takes a lot of work to get through but then once it's out, it blooms into this beautiful flower,
right?
Lotus flower, which represents, it's very symbolic. I mean,
symbolic of growth.
Our logo is the lotus flower.
Yeah, we did that on purpose.
Yes,
that was your idea.
It was.
Yeah,
it was intentional.
I love it. And then, pressure, in order to create a diamond, you require intense amounts of pressure. In order to build muscle, you require resistance. So yada, yada, yada. You guys get the picture.
Yeah.
We require those difficult moments, those things that trigger us to create the opportunity for growth. Now, it's up to us if we're going to actually take the opportunity. Most people are just like, this sucks, and it just still sucks, and they just go on in the suckiness of it until they forget about it or move on to something else. But me being who I am, I don't let a single moment of contrast pass me by. I'm going to recognize it. I'm going to say, what is it about this that's causing this internal discomfort? Like, what is the trigger here?
Okay. let's break this down, because let's talk about what happened last week. I have to talk about this because this is where you being my bestie came into huge play.
Yeah.
Okay. So last week, obviously Melanie, when she interviewed her mother, I could not be on the interview because I was sick. I was dealing with a stomach flu. Horrible. Hadn't been that sick in a long time. It literally took me a whole week to get over it. Now, the reason it took me a whole week, which I think I could have gotten over it in maybe 48, 72 hours, but instead it took literally 6 days before I felt like myself again, was this horrible nagging feeling of me disappointing others, of me letting others down, of me feeling guilt. And so about halfway through my sickness last week, Melanie and I, we check on each other every day since we're accountability partners now. And even now since we're working together too, and it's our passion project. But last week, I'm midway through my sickness and I'm leaving Melanie an audio message. And I had already felt it like I wanted to faint that morning. I was so weak. I was hung over the bathroom as I was brushing my teeth because I didn't have the energy. But here I am getting ready to go to work. And
Good thing you're cute.
Good thing I'm cute. So I get about as done up as I can be, feeling so ill and so sick, hadn't eaten anything but maybe a banana and a few crackers in 48 hours. And I leave an audio message for Melanie and I'm like, hey, just so you know, I feel like shit. I'm on my way to work. Why am I doing this to myself? I don't know why. I should be home in bed. I'm so scared to disappoint my boss. I had just given my 3 weeks notice a week before that. And so I think I was feeling like all this pressure to be at work and to perform. And I'm like, man, I shouldn't be going, but I'm going. I'm just going to push through and da-da-da. And so I leave her like this 2 or 3 minute audio message and she responds right back. I didn't have the time to listen to it right away, but as soon as I had the chance, I get on the phone, I listen, and she's like, look, and Melanie is the most docile. Melanie naturally is just the most docile, non-confrontational, chill human being.
I just like to love and support people.
Totally. I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
We're fawners. We're fawners.
Yeah.
Kind of fawners, but not in a bad way. But it is a trauma response. We can get into that. But anyway, so Melanie, again, very docile. We've never had one argument. Have we ever had an argument?
No, actually, that is the thing that I can't believe it's taken us 13
We might have
episodes.
been a little salty at one point when we lived together, maybe at one point.
I really don't think so. No, we should have brought this up previously. Gina and I have been best friends for 25 years and we've never had a single argument. We lived together for 2 years?
Yes.
Not one argument. There might have been a disagreement.
Yeah.
At the why of it all, we believe in healing inside and out, and that's why we're proud to be sponsored by a brand we genuinely love and trust, Tulip Blooms. Created by our dear friends Patrick and Ashley, Tulip Blooms is a family-owned American small business that crafts premium skincare products with intention, purity, and so much heart. Every product is handcrafted in small batches with 100% organic, natural, cruelty-free ingredients, formulated to nourish, soothe, rejuvenate, and support your skin's natural vitality. They offer lotions, body butter, facial serums, artisan soaps, and candles, and even hair and beard oil for the guys. Whether you're looking to deeply hydrate, rejuvenate, or simply love your body a bit with more ritual pampering, Tulip Blooms delivers high-vibe care you can feel good about because it's skincare rooted in nature, backed by integrity, and made with love. Visit tulipblooms.shop and use our promo code HEAL, that's HEAL, at checkout for a sweet discount of 10% off. When you shop small, every purchase supports a dream and makes a real difference in the lives of a real family. Tulip Blooms is more than just a skincare company. They're part of a healing movement, and your purchase helps to keep that movement growing. It's one of the best ways to support our show and a small business we love and believe in.
Like this, but we have never, like I've literally never thought like that bitch. Like I've never felt any sort of negative feelings towards this human. But so anyway, so I finally get to where I can listen to the audio message, and I'm struggling, and I'm at work, and I'm trying to push through, but I'm just so weak, and I feel so horrible. I just want to be in bed. And she's like, listen, I love you, but I'm about to give you some tough love. And, listen.
And I go, what are you doing?
That's what you literally said it like that.
Yes.
Which you don't talk to me like that
Never.
ever. But you're like, what are you doing? Why are you going to work? You need to turn around right now and go home and get your butt in bed. And you need to rest and you need to take care of yourself. And I don't care if those coworkers are upset or disappointed or nothing.
Well,
and she's like, and you're like, Gina, if they were sick, don't you think they'd be home? And wouldn't you be telling them to?
Yes.
And so anyway,
I said, this is your body
yes,
demanding rest.
Yes.
Everything you've been going through, you career change, all the other, there's other massive changes that we haven't necessarily talked about, but
right.
you have been dealing with so much lately. And I was like, you are sick right now because your body is demanding rest. Sometimes, this is just world according to Melanie. Y'all don't have to agree with me or not. I do personally believe that very oftentimes we manifest sicknesses in our body, not just because of a pathogen.
Absolutely.
I believe that we will manifest illness
yes.
when our body is like, stop.
Enough.
It's time to rest. It's time to convalesce. It's time to restore and recover. And I was like, your body's demanding rest and you're ignoring that. We have literally an entire show about self-care.
Yes.
And you're going to freaking work when you're barfing your brains out. Go home.
And so she sends me this message and I listen to it and I get emotional because what I was doing last week was everything that me and Melanie preach against. I was not putting myself first. I was not loving myself. I was putting myself low on the totem pole. I was not honoring what I promised myself and others that I would do, which is love myself and care enough about myself to put myself first. And so she sent me that and I responded back and I think I was a little teary, but I think I was like, thank you so much for like telling me how it is. And like, I just needed to hear that. And you're so right. And here again, I'm going and I'm not putting myself first and I'm putting others first. And God damn it. And it was just this.
It created a great relief for me because it took her so long to
yeah.
respond. I was like kind of starting to get worried, like, oh crap, did I piss her off? Like, what?
It was so funny.
Maybe that didn't go over so well.
And she responded back and she's like, oh good, I thought you were upset. I'm like, hell no, I needed a swift kick in the ass for somebody to say, stop. Like, that is your body saying slow down.
Yeah.
And so anyway, it was a great lesson. Such a great lesson from my bestie.
And so let's tie this into contrast generating expansion.
Yeah.
The contrast, we could consider the contrast in this case being sick.
Yeah.
We could consider it the negative emotion that you felt that was making that you used to justify going to work and not honoring yourself. So that feeling of letting people down.
Yes.
And what if there's other people thinking negative things about me?
That's exactly where my mind
and
went.
disappointing others, and how is that going to reflect on me?
Yes.
And instead of doing what literally everybody else in that situation would have done, would be like, sorry guys, sick, not coming in today, bye.
Gone.
So in that case, the contrast that is generating this expansion right now in the terms of the awareness you came to of, oops, I did it again.
Yeah.
Oops, I did it again. Once again, deprioritizing my own well-being for reasons that aren't even really all like
not legitimate.
It's not legitimate reason.
No.
Nobody's going to be mad at you for not coming to work when you're barfing.
No.
So what an incredible blessing. What an incredible blessing to have had this contrasting experience, this uncomfortable, unpleasant, not what you would have chosen consciously, not something that you would ever want to be in, negative emotion, but it provided the opportunity for you to self-reflect and learn from your experience and then make a new choice and grow from it. That's contrast generating expansion.
But you allowed me the space and you allowed me the prompt to say, look at what you're doing. Like, I don't know if I would have gotten to that growth.
But you would have, because you have me, because you attracted me in your life.
Yeah.
I'm not in your life because of purely my own choices.
That's true.
That's true. Me in your life is your choice also.
That's true.
So when we have these moments, so for me, because this is just how I've lived my life for, decades.
Yeah.
it's my knee-jerk reaction to automatically just go inward and do the introspection and start asking myself the questions of what is the opportunity in this discomfort? What is available here for me to learn? Like, what is the belief underneath this pain? What is the wound I haven't healed yet here? Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be that way. Very often when I'm going through something heavy and I can't see my way out of it, I call my mom or I call somebody else, and it is very normal and very often that somebody else is going to reflect to you what the lesson or the opportunity is. That's totally normal. So like, there's nothing to judge yourself in there about. Yeah. And to your credit, all I had to do is say it and you were like, oh, you're right. Like, it's not like you were that far away from the awareness. You were right there.
I wasn't, and I was feeling it. Like, I was feeling the emotions as they were coming, but I was so damn sick. Like, I was just like, just let me get in bed and binge watch some show and just like not have to move and just, I mean,
It's beautiful. It's a fantastic example. Fantastic example.
It was.
So going back to my journal entry. So after I had worked myself into this ridiculous tizzy last night, I woke up and I'm doing my journal entry and I'm asking in my journal, I'm going, okay, so I really love, this is how my journal entries go. It's always very positive. It's always appreciation or putting a positive spin on things to help me self-reflect. So I'm like, I really enjoy these opportunities to understand myself better. I appreciate that I can see that I went into this tizzy last night. I appreciate this moment of contrast and the opportunity that it's giving me to identify what is it in me, what is still existing in me that I haven't healed yet, what wound is there, or what limitation program is running that has me thinking that it is that makes me. It's not like I wanted to be up there at 1 till 1 a.m. frantically, furiously writing and hating it all and being like, this, I don't like any of this. Why am I still doing it? It's not like I wanted to be doing that.
Yeah.
I could feel the misalignment and the resistance through the whole thing.
Yeah.
So what is it in me that creates that drive to need it to be perfect? And if it's not perfect, what is the fear behind that? What am I so afraid of that if I don't get this just perfect,
it's going to be
a total failure? Like, what am I afraid of? And so after I did my journal entry, getting myself in a better mindset. So that's for me what the journal entry is about. It's about prepping. Mindset. It's prepping my mindset for the day because I'm going to go from my journal entry directly into my nervous system rewiring work. So it's sort of like it's like the appetizer to get my mind right.
Correct.
And then I go into my limbic round, which is also basically kind of a meditation for the purposes. Let's just call it a meditation here. And I was able through that process of asking questions and doing the introspection and feeling my way through it to get to a belief. That was the limitation belief. And then the one underneath that, and the one underneath that, and the one underneath that. What is the worst thing about this episode not being perfect? If it's not perfect, I'll sound ridiculous. Okay. What's the worst thing about sounding ridiculous? Well, if I sound ridiculous, nobody has any reason to attach value to what I say. Okay. So what's the worst thing about that? Well, the worst thing about that is, this podcast could be a failure. Cool. What's the worst thing about this podcast being a failure? Well, it proves that I wasn't good enough.
You got it. You hit it.
Chills.
You hit it.
There's the bottom belief. Oh. There's the bottom belief. Thank goodness I had that unpleasant experience to highlight for me that there was an unhealed wound within that needed my attention. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So then I do what I do, and I have my own processes for how I then clear and release a self-limiting belief. There's a process for it, and that's what I do. And by the end of that process, I'm like, I feel a million times better. I feel so much lighter having released the belief of I'm not good enough. Now, talk about nut crunchers.
Crunchers.
I'm not good enough. That's a nut cruncher kind of belief. It's very often the kind of thing where you'll clear it out and later on down the road, it bubbles back up because we're really chipping away. Some of these bottom beliefs, some of these core beliefs like I'm not good enough and
I'm not worthy
and I'm not worthy and I'm not worthy of love and blah, blah. These like some of these big nut cruncher beliefs. we chip away at them over time.
Oh, yeah.
And that's fine.
That takes time.
It takes time, and it takes multiple opportunities, some big, some small, over many years to finally chip away to where it no longer triggers ever at all. But for me, I'm grateful for those moments. They suck when you're in it. Of course it sucks when you're in it. And when you're in it, it's really hard to see the forest for the trees. But it's after the fact when you've used the tools, using the tools like the journaling and meditation and whatever it is that you do to raise your vibration and get to a little bit of a better feeling place that you can see in hindsight. Okay, now that I'm outside of the intensity of emotion of it and I can reflect, what's that wound? What's making me act this way? Why am I doing that? So here I am feeling a million times better, and I couldn't be more happy in this moment that we freaking scrapped that whole episode.
Me too.
Because I didn't like it.
I didn't either.
And I'm
I didn't
totally
either.
fine
I didn't
with that.
feel like I had enough to contribute to the topic to bring good content to our listeners. I just didn't feel, and so we were kind of like, the vibration kept getting lower and lower about it, because I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll just interview you, and we just you rattle off, but that didn't feel authentic either. And then it took Melanie's husband to say, hey, maybe you guys should just try to wing it. But you know what? Okay, but we had that idea before. We have had the idea before. We've just never done it.
Well, and we talked about in the future. We
did.
specifically said
We did.
maybe one day we won't need to do any show prep ever.
But look at us, 13 episodes in, and we did it.
Look at us.
Oh my God.
We're doing it. So anyway,
This is great.
this
is good stuff.
I think too, I needed to be able to have the opportunity to release that I'm not good enough to have this episode.
Oh yeah.
Like, for me to be able to step into that, I needed to release the limitation that was keeping me locked in. In order for it to be good, I've got to work my ass off for it.
But just think how that served us, how that served our podcast community. You going through that hard time last night, you getting stuck in the minutia. Look at what was created, this organic. We've already 30 minutes and we've already, we're just everything's.
I mean, this is the why of it all, right? This is what we talked about when I will never forget till the day I die, when we had the conversation that birthed the idea of this show.
It was on a Sunday.
It's literally what we talked about. Is we talked about having a show where what we're discussing is the gifts and the blessings and the opportunities inherent in our challenges. We were like, that's the why of it all. The why of it all is to learn and grow and expand through the difficult moments, being there for each other, lifting each other up, together. And look at us. So
I wonder, is this going to be how we do every episode going forward? Do you think?
Yeah, hell of a lot easier.
I mean, we're gonna have guests. We still have guests that we want to bring on for sure. But I wonder, is this gonna be our new normal? And if it is, I'm in love already. I'm in love already. I told her before we started this, maybe we were recording, I said, it'll be interesting to see how our energies are in this just organic, off the cuff episode. And for me, it's been beautiful. I think it's been beautiful.
I love it. Everything is always working out for us,
isn't it?
Even the difficult things. It's happening for us.
I love
not to us.
The
shit I went through last night, that was for me. It was also self-inflicted.
It's okay.
It was for me, from me, but it was for me.
But look where it got us.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Everything
it spawned on this difficulty, and that your wonderful husband had enough insight to just say, guys, it's time to cut the cord. Just do it. And we did it. And we're like, this is great. I feel like this is going to revolutionize our podcasting experience.
Guys, if you like this format better than the more formal approach that we were doing before with Q&A style, interview style, and occasionally reading pre-prepared statements. If you like this better,
please let us
know. Actually, we've asked for comments before, but we really, 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 for real. If you like this better, shoot us a message. Follow us on our socials.
Yes.
All of the socials links
Yeah.
are in the show description. So click on whatever social you like and send us a DM. Tell us if you like this format better. That'll be so helpful.
And we're going to make our family and friends, close friends, like listen to this and another episode if they haven't listened to them before. And honestly, have them give us our honest feedback, because I do want feedback about this. But this feels right. It just feels natural. It feels like home. It feels like what we do when we're not recording, which is why we started the Why of It All in the first place.
I love it.
So.
I love it. Are we good? 34 minutes. What do you think?
I think we're good.
I think we're good.
Shit.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
This has been fun. This has been so
great.
much more fun
Yes.
than the
you're gonna
the nonsense we had planned.
and just think about how good you're gonna sleep tonight, because
Oh,
you're
like
sleep
a
deprived.
baby.
You're
I'm on
gonna
like
sleep
2
like a
whole
baby.
hours of sleep. This is gonna be so much better.
Oh, thank you guys
All
for
right,
joining us.
Do us a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, share, follow, whatever, all the things
Review.
on whatever platform you're on. If you're on a platform that requests reviews, please do that. That's super helpful.
Yes.
Yeah, we love you guys.
Love you.
Hope to see you on the next one.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, guys.